I'm Korey Luna. I'm here with Richard Hogben, and you're watching Patch Dispatch from Peak.fm. Recently this weekend, in late January, we went to NAMM for the first time and had a wonderful time. And we got to speak with Tvarsi at Novation and David at Melbourne Instruments. And that was a great time, and we're going to show you some of the footage right now.
You want to talk about what's going on right now?
I'm in your apartment.
What?
House.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. It's been nice.
It is. Been good.
So I came down here this weekend so that we could actually go together to NAMM, cover that, and then within the same weekend go to Buchla Friends, also here in LA. NAMM down in Anaheim, of course, and then Buchla Friends was a bit more local. I'm not exactly sure what neighborhood that is, but it was much easier to get to.
Yeah. Yeah, we just got back, well, I guess a few hours now.
It was earlier today.
Yeah.
We went down there yesterday near the end of the day and said hi to everybody, took some photos, introduced ourselves, said, hey, we'll be back tomorrow, take some nice video of everybody. They showed up around 11 a.m. on Sunday today and got some great video footage with lots of different companies over at Buchla Friends. You know, mostly these are like, some are either one person or maybe four people. Most of them are very small companies. But we spoke to New Systems Instruments, Mystic Circuits, Sleepy Circuits, and Noise Engineering, and a few others as well. I believe Eternal Research. I believe that one is with the Demon Box.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to a lot of people, but we've got a selection that we're going to share today. So yeah, let's go into upper guy, lower guy mode. Ready?
Whoa. Technology.
All right, and here we go.
Fun fact is you'll notice that we have, you'll probably see my name tag because you'll see me on your camera once in a while. You can see how we actually labeled ourselves. It was just kind of a fun inside joke, but
it was funny.
Sure.
Everybody got it. Everybody laughed. Totally recognized, knew what was going on.
I'm confused.
Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
Hi, I'm Korey Upper Guy Luna, here with Rich Lower Guy Hogben with Peaked.fm. We're here at NAMM 2025, the National Association for Music Merchants. We're here to check out Novation and the elusive fart pedal and Native Instruments, and check out some other wonderful vendors here at NAMM 2025 and many, many guitars. Let's go check it out. We're here at Novation at NAMM 2025, and we're about to speak with Tvarsi, our host here at Novation, about what is at hold at this booth.
So what we're featuring for this year is our collaboration with G-Force and Novation. The G-Force, basically going back to 1993, the original base station, they took that and just added a whole bunch of new bells and whistles. There's an onboard sequencer where you can do probability, it has an arpeggiator, and that collaboration also includes downloading the custom modes so you have control over the filter, for example. And if you keep it looking at the screen there, and what was added, because it is a virtual instrument that can be used standalone or within your DAW.
She was, I have to say, Shonda was getting frustrated because I was filming her.
Yeah, she wanted you to point the camera
she was like
at the synth, or
point the camera at the screen, Richard. So okay, yeah, yeah. I'm sure you could feel the tension.
You know, very tense.
Yeah. Okay.
There is a sequencer, there's an arpeggiator, but if you look up top, we've also added high pass filter, distortion, chorus, delay, reverb, and an XLFO and XADSR, which is an additional modulation for any parameter in the virtual instrument. G-Force did an amazing job emulating the base station. So now we're looking at the Launch Key Mark IV. It is now the central system of this desk setup. So we have it connected to the virtual instrument, but the 49 key has the ability to split keys, meaning part A is now controlling the virtual instrument. This side of the synth is mapped to control the base station in the rack, and the new chord mapping is controlling the peak. With the chord mapping, if you kind of take a look at the screen, you can see all specific chord inversions that correlate with the scale that you have chosen. And so this is really not only a great production tool and just really, kind of lets you dig in and get creative right away, but if you're not a big theory buff but would like to learn what chords you're playing, what scale you're playing in, the screen is really great because it really shows you what you're doing. So it gives you an opportunity to kind of create and learn. Sometimes a little less daunting to be able to dig into the learning and then creating, and then the learning of the scales and all that sort of stuff kind of just seeps in.
Check this out, the Bitwig Connect 412. An innovation in interfaces for your computer, home studio, on your desktop style. This is a crazy 360 dial that is universal throughout the entire interface. It's got dedicated CV outs. You can't even see the back. There's even more inputs right on here on the back. It does have one dedicated XLR out input, and which also works as a 1/4-inch input as well for a guitar. Totally awesome.
So I was really impressed with the build quality.
Yeah,
it felt really nice.
Yeah, the Bitwig Connect is very nice. It's solid, good material. It's not plastic at all. It's got a good weight to it, and that dial really has a nice feel to it. It's not loose at all.
Yeah, it feels like a nice premium audio interface, which is cool because it's nice that I think, for the Bitwig fans, like to have a dedicated hardware device that's got some integration with Bitwig is really cool.
Yeah, and they definitely went with bringing modular into this design, so that you have a much more variety and versatility to get more than just a stereo image in there. But since so much of modular are monophonic, don't all have stereo, you have more than just a dual input for it.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people that are using the Bitwig integration with their Eurorack. So it's nice to have now there's an audio interface for it, and you've got those CV outs right in the top to run right over to your Eurorack. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely a good highlight.
Just hanging out with Travarsi a minute ago. Travarsi works with us, and Travarsi said, "Go talk to Honeysmack real quick and see what's going on at Melbourne Instruments."
I love Travarsi.
And I'd love to know.
I love Sean so much.
Sean is awesome. I heard you guys did a great set last night.
Thank you.
And I'd love to hear about what you guys have on display here at NAMM 2025.
We've just launched our Motorized MIDI controller. Are you familiar with our Synths, our Motorized?
No.
Oh, sorry. We've adopted the Motorized technology from our Nina and our Delia Synths and brought Motorized technology to MIDI controllers.
Wow.
To a MIDI controller.
That's tight.
Yeah, so we have, you can see here, we've got Motorized control of some hardware here. I catch my breath.
Yes.
We have 3 main modes. We've got MIDI mode, plug-in mode, and mix mode. MIDI mode is like a ubiquitous, if you have MIDI compatible hardware software, you can control it, CC and PRN, one-touch control as well, 64 setups, of 128 assignments, all stored on the machine. Everything is stored on the machine. There's no elaborate setups. One-touch MIDI learn as well. Then we have 2 dedicated Ableton Live modes, which is mix mode and plug-in mode. So in mix mode, it grabs the track names and colours from the active Ableton set. So there's no setup. All touch sensitive control as well. That's in mix mode. In plug-in mode.
Yeah, because I mean, I have seen, I'm on the
Let's get to a plug-in. So in plug-in mode, and I'm just going to clear these so I can show you. Learn one's forever in the machine. So any computer, any Ableton live session, you recall that plug-in, third party or native, you've got those parameters learned already. So let me show you, because this is, come closer. So normally when we learn MIDI on Ableton, we have to go up here and hit MIDI. We don't do that here whatsoever. We put into learn mode, touch the knob or button that we want to learn to. I'm focused here on the clap. I just touch the tune parameter here, and you can see it's learnt the parameter and grab the label as well. I'll do that again on
so
another
cool.
parameter on, let's go with decay.
Yeah, awesome. And what do you do?
That is so cool.
Forever stored in the machine. Now with the app, we can change the label. You wouldn't want to change the label. You might want to change the color.
Great.
So I've got instant recall of that plugin all the time. So does it work with third-party plugins? Yes, of course it does. Go over here and you can see as I change tracks or channels, it'll snap to the first plugin in that chain. Here we've got Arturia's Acid V loaded in 2 different channels, and as I snap, those values will change based on where I am or what I'm clicking on, and it also tell me the plugin name and the track I'm on as well.
Wow. That is awesome.
We haven't even started yet.
What?
Okay, now sit down, now we'll get to the real shit. Okay? Ready?
Yeah.
So let's say we've got some automation written in the clip. And I want to take over control of the resonance. I just tap it, just touch it, and now I've got control over the resonance. Oh, I want to go back to the automation I wrote. Fair enough. Rearm it. There we go. If we want to stay focused on this plugin whilst I navigate elsewhere in Ableton, I hit the focus button. Now this will stay locked to this plugin whilst I navigate elsewhere. So I'll navigate somewhere.
I have to say real quick, that focus lock, the fact that they have that on this controller, it took Ableton like up until just a few months ago to get that on the push 3. Like you couldn't lock a parameter set across the top. Once you like touched any other, it would switch your focus away. So like you couldn't be adjusting a filter and then do something else because it would switch and screw it up. They just finally added that. So like that's, yeah. There's the integration that thought they've put into this. It's like very, very good for working well with Ableton. It's pretty cool.
I was floored with it.
On Ableton, you can see that I'm still locked here. Turn this lock off. Boom, I've gone to the next, to where I was. And let's see some of that automation,
Wow. David, this is truly amazing.
All setups can be imported and exported if you want to share with your mates. Hang on. Americans don't say mates, you say your friends. Is that right?
Yes.
Your friends.
That's right.
In Australia, mate, we say your mates. Okay? If we go back to, I'm just going to stop this. We go back to MIDI mode. I can show you this is hard to show on camera, but I'm going to try and show it to you. If you feel this knob here, feel the quality of that knob. See how smooth it is?
Are the keys customized?
Yes.
What we can do is we can add haptics to it. So let's turn that into a switch, a 5-way switch. Now feel that knob, please.
Oh, resistance. Look at that. Clicky, clicky.
And you can't break it because you're only pushing past a knob. Get lower guy. Get the cameraman to touch that.
Touch it, lower guy.
There's more. Don't get excited just yet. I can label each step that will be represented here as well. So. And let's change the colour of that knob as well. I want to go to a green. You see it now changed to green. Now each step is actually coloured. It's actually labelled. If you look over here on the Syntact, I've done it with the button here where you've got the...
Yeah.
I remember it's all bi-directional as well.
Wow. That's so cool.
All saved on the unit. No setup, plug and play, standalone operation in MIDI. Obviously the Ableton modes, you need to be connected to Ableton. That's it. Now I've got a question for you guys in America. Why did you fuck up your coffee so badly? Why do you have such shit coffee? Why? Why was it so hard to just get a coffee in this country? I just want a coffee. I just want an espresso. Please, give me an espresso and we can all be friends.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was the Roto-Controller from Melbourne Instruments has memory, and that's, to me, that's a very unique thing that I don't see in a lot of controllers. Most of them are, very plug and play and customizable, but this one, once you've got it set up within the DAW that you like to use with, you can unplug it, take it out to a set, and you don't need the DAW anymore because it's already in the memory.
Well, you still need Ableton if you use Ableton.
Okay.
But the rest of but if you're not using Ableton, it's standalone. Yeah. We'll keep those. Remember that stuff. The fact that it's got, you can set up a plugin in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he's talking about. You could save that and share that plugin setting with someone else, so they don't have to go through what you did. Yeah, I mean, the motorized knobs, I was telling you, I really understand motorized faders. The knob thing, it seems like there's been solutions, sort of, like you were talking about the LED ring to show where an encoder is. But the haptic feedback and the switch setting is super cool because you really don't feel that at all on a normal knob, when you're, as far as what position I'm in. And now that you can actually feel, I'm on the left, I'm in the middle, I'm on the right. And pair that with the label on the screen, that's super, super useful, really cool. So,
yeah, Melbourne Instruments.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah. It's that thing. Everyone's talking about it. So,
yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, cool.
We'll get it. Now we're going to switch over to Buchla Friends, as we spent some time over at NAMM, of course. But as most of us know, it catered more to guitars, drums. There are synthesizer companies there, but not as many boutique synthesizer companies, such as what we have over at Buchla Friends, where we have all of the boutique companies there. Everybody's there. There was, I think it was over 50 in the catalog that you get when you went in, thanks to Peter Nybor passing those out. He also had a hand in the layout of the booklet that was passed out this weekend, and tells the history a little bit about when they started doing Buchla Friends last year, and how they had to get a bigger space and have more availability for more companies, because more and more companies kept on coming out and saying, we want to be part of this. We want to buy a table and get it there. So they did. So there was over 50 different companies there, 2 rooms, one downstairs, one upstairs, and just galore of modules everywhere, unique synthesizers. We're going to get into that right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. And you're right, everybody was there. Like, yeah. I saw more people there that I recognize. I mean, NAMM is bigger.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all the synth manufacturers, Eurorack people, it's great for like the smaller ones, you know? I mean, obviously they can't get to something like NAMM. And a lot of people fly in for Buchla Friends now. Some of them are pairing it like with NAMM, which makes sense. But being free is like a really good, alternative. So
yeah. And it's cool that there were multiple countries being represented at Buchla Friends this year. As I think last year there was, less representation, but now that there's the words out, everybody wants to get in. So we had people from all over the world here at Buchla Friends, and one of the newcomers was Genki, that we're going to show you today, that they're from Iceland, and they've got a really cool synthesizer that will be coming out, I believe, in 2026.
Usually. Yeah. Genki makes the Wavefront, which is like a Bluetooth module that pairs with a motion controller, or you can just pair it up with like an iPad and have like, touch control. And I think you get like 4 or 5 channels through it. So I think it's like 4 HP or something. But yeah, this is going from that to a rack mount poly voice synthesizer. So it's cool stuff. All right, ready?
Let's do it.
Here at Buchla Friends in LA, and we're going to check out some awesome modular setups today with Noise Engineering, Mystic Circuits, and some other fantastic people like Schlab Engineering. And we might even get to see a show by Todd Barton or Suzanne Ciani. Let's go check it out.
Okay, hi, I'm Evan from New Systems, and our newest module here is the discrete map. So this is going to be released sometime in March. The easiest way to explain what it does is actually to start with an external wave. So I've just got a sine wave plugged into X here, and you can see as the sine wave passes each of these 8 thresholds, that stage is activated, either rising if the switch is up, or falling if the switch is down, or off if it's in the center. And then when that stage is activated, the voltage on the top is spit out of f of x up here. So in addition to that, it's got a whole bunch of nice features to connect it with other things. With the internal clock is just a ramp wave. So it just goes from bottom to top. So generally you'll just have all the sliders up. There's a second mode to make it a little easier to control, length mode. And in length mode, these control the relative length. So at this point, they're all the same length. And if you want to make one twice as long, you just do that. Because it's all clocked by the same ramp wave, the total length doesn't change, so it's taking a little bit of time from these, and it all balances out. So the measure is always the same length, no matter what the sliders are doing. Then there's a bunch of features, like I said, to interface with other stuff, like a sync on the clock, sync over N, so for every N beats it'll sync. Gate out with gate length, external in, you can hook two of them together. Above and below, control the top and bottom of the position or the threshold sliders. And then there's also going to be an expander. And the expander, basically, you put each of the 8 stages into one of 3 groups, and then you get CV over the position of the threshold, as well as individual gates out, and a sequential switch. And if it does well, I'll have more expanders, because, they're chainable, so you can use as many as you want. And, the idea was really just to make a sequencer that is really versatile with time, as well as able to react to events that are happening in your modular, to sync with rhythms that are already happening in your modular, rather than to always be, the one source of rhythm that everything else has to follow.
Hello, friends. This is Eli.
I asked him about the module because he hadn't mentioned to it. Because he didn't mention it to us when we were meeting with him to film monologues.
That's right. When we shot monologues with Evan of New Systems Instruments last year, he didn't mention this sequencer he was working on. He didn't mention a future project that he's still developing, but this one slipped under our radar. But that's all right. We got a chance to talk to him about it. And this is a cool sequencer. I love his concepts. Evan has a unique approach on how he designs his modules. They're all unique. You don't see anyone else doing what he does. It's really cool. Mm-hmm. And if you get a chance, I highly recommend buying his modules whenever you can. He's going to all the trade shows. So if you're going to be maybe at NobCon later on this year in September, he's probably going to be there. He might even make it out to Super Booth this year. I'm not sure. I hope he does. That'd be cool.
Are you getting your commission?
Yeah.
You sure? This video is sponsored by Evan Buswell. He told me that maybe he forgot to mention it to us.
Oh, did he forget?
He forgot.
Yeah.
I think it's cool too. I asked him about, because it's big, and I have one of the RYK sequencers, which also has sort of 2 rows of they're more like switches, not sliders. But that the thing that he said right off the bat was that his sequencer is really off the grid, right? And then the fact that it can respond to stuff that's already happening versus just being clocked and being a division of that clock and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's very cool. Okay, we'll get back to Eli here.
Circuits. Today we've brought a couple of new things and a couple of old favorites that are coming back. As you can see here, we make a variety of purple and rainbow modules that are designed to help you make new sounds and new types of music. We try to focus on making new building blocks for circuits and for modular synths instead of improving on the blocks that are there. One of our most recent offerings is called Anna. It's a recreation of an older module. We've been going back and redesigning a lot of stuff from before the pandemic because part shortages made it so that we had to switch things up. But also we were like, hey, we've learned a lot about electronics in the last couple of years. Let's go ahead and make everything better. So Anna 2 is an analog logic module that takes in 2 signals and sends out 9 signals. One of the nice things about analog logic versus digital logic is that it doesn't just work on gates, it works on any kind of voltages you send into it. So you can send in audio, it'll give you audio. You can send in voltage sequences, it'll give you voltage sequences. You can send in LFOs, it'll give you out LFOs. And it's nice too having like the selection of 9 circuits where you can use specifically one circuit, or you can use all 9 in tandem and change up your whole patch at once. I think the last thing to show off is that I have another prototype of our video oscillator people have been asking for a long time, called Ruins. This is a quad video oscillator that's designed to make video synthesis more accessible and hopefully affordable. You know, it's never going to be like guitar pedals or whatever, but the idea behind it is that it takes a lot of money to get into video synthesis, and then you need a lot of oscillators in order to get interesting generative designs, and this gets you started with 4 oscillators that are pretty versatile. You can use each oscillator as a filter, you can use each oscillator as a delay, and you can use them as LFOs, or just you get extra modulation oscillators for your fancier oscillator modules designed by either LZX, Synth, the other companies that are doing their best to bring you the top quality stuff. And this gives you 4 of them in the same amount of space. I'm shooting for around $500, and these are production prototypes, so I'm doing beta testing. And if everything goes well, I'll be launching a Kickstarter in the spring. So far, everything's looking good. I have it running at HD, so I was testing it at 1080p. I had difficulty finding anything that could even resolve analog 1080p, but I had it working. So Ruins is basically at the last step that I need before I can put it into production. People have been asking for this for a long time. I have been working on it for a very long time, and I'm happy to say that I think it's in its final stages before I can release it. So thanks a lot for coming in, checking everything out.
What did you think of?
Mystic Circuits is cool, making some cool stuff. I love the fact that he went back and redesigned his older modules with the new chips that are available. So basically he's adapting to the market, which I think is a great idea. Very wonderful. The fact that he's working on those older ones and bringing them up to date. Everybody likes that sort of thing. So I think that's a great step for him. And the new video module he's working on, I'm looking forward to seeing that Kickstarter happen for him. The amount of work he's put into that, the fact that he's pushing it to be HD 1080p is unusual for a video module. Most are going to be 720p. I think, granted, I don't know XLV that well. Maybe they pushed the envelope already, but I'll figure that out eventually. But again, what Eli is doing at Mystic Circuits, very cool. The fact that he's thrown 4 oscillators into that thing, that's a lot for a video synth. It's really cool. And you could already see just from the sample video there, just on that little screen he had, on the amount of color and different textures you're getting from that, from an all analog circuit. That's a lot of work. That's really cool.
Yeah. He mentioned that he'd seen like a notification or something in his feed from like 6 years ago about the module. So he's like, oh, it's like really feeling good to like finally, I guess, be at that end, finish line. So yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Alexandra Fiera, and I'm the inventor and designer of the DM Box. This is a DM Box here. It's an EMF sensing device. There's 33 inductors spread across 3 separate channels. There's 3 mono outputs of audio, 1 proprietary triphonic stereo array of kind of like a headphone jack, but it has a proprietary mix. It also has auxiliary inputs, 3 auxiliary inputs, 1 for each channel, 3 control voltage outputs, 1 for each channel, and then also sends MIDI, CC, and note data, and it does this all at the same time. So it gives extraordinary power for someone to turn the EMF just from any device into incredible amounts of usable data, creative energy, and wild exploration. So there's really no limit what you can do. And I designed this as a way to just break into a new world of sound that is about listening to sound so intently and deeply that you can see a universe within it. So.
Demon Box.
Cool experimental EMF synthesizer. Would you call that a synthesizer?
Yeah, it's taking electronic magnetic fields and
processing them into audio.
Right. But also has the CV out and MIDI out and all that other stuff. So yeah, you had walked by that and pointed it out. So
did it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it sounded cool. The little TV over it was sounded really amazing. Yeah,
I'm
cool.
I'm looking forward to seeing what other people will come up with using it, with integrating into their own systems.
Mm-hmm.
So it has a lot of potential, I think.
Yeah. Cool.
Hello, my name is Markus. I'm with the company Genki from Iceland, and we're here to present the first Icelandic synthesizer called Katla. It's based on the largest active volcano in Iceland, called Katla as well. So we have real lava rock side panels and lava rocks in the knobs as well. And we wanted to capture the feeling of a volcano inside of a small instrument. So the danger, the unpredictability, the chaos. So it's a 5-voice polyphonic synthesizer with sub-oscillator and noise as well. We don't have a screen on it, so we have only buttons and knob per function. It has some crazy movements here and there. We have Katla parameters, which are like the wildcards, which are modulating different parts of the synth, as well as wavefolding and stereo spread, wow and flutter. Yeah, so we're trying to emulate this feeling of volcanoes. So you're in control, it's controlled chaos, but Katla itself controls a lot as well. Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Hi, my name is...
So, yeah, that one, I walked by, it immediately caught my attention. I didn't realize that the sides were volcanic rock.
Yeah, that they used the cheeks, and instead of using wood classically, they used volcanic rock from Iceland.
Right, and actually, I think the one I'd seen originally they had some rack mount ears on it, and then they must have swapped those out today. But I saw on the knob it had some sort of, it looked like, I don't know, I didn't ask, but I didn't pick that up. But I thought it looked 3D printed, and maybe the inside was sort of, it just looked messed up. I don't know, I was like, what? I couldn't tell what it was. But now I'm like, oh, gee, it's like actual rock embedded in the knob, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's some, again. No one's done that before that I've seen. So having volcanic rock built into the hardware of the knobs and the side panels of your synthesizer, unique piece. That's so cool. What an art piece that is right there.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious and excited to see them once they hit the market, I think in 2026, I believe, is when they're going to be coming out officially. I think these are just prototypes they were presenting at Buchla Friends this weekend. And I'm curious to also see like how long are they going to be able to keep that production in the units by bringing in the actual volcanic rock into the pieces.
I think
how long will that last?
It's a big volcano, so they'd have to sell a lot of synthesizers to run out of volcanic rock. But they were handing out little samples.
That was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
I was
but
very
so
happy.
both days, it was doing a sort of round robin across the arpeggiator was doing sort of a round robin across, and you could hear that here. But I was telling you earlier, one of the other patches was a little more like, straightforward, but a really nice sounding, like a beautiful sounding synthesizer. And the patch he had running there, very deep, experimental. I think a lot of those filters were running, which they're sort of like, they're kind of randomizable parameters that adjust stuff across the patch. And each one has different ways they affect the other parameters on the device. So, yeah, very, very cool. Very cool device.
And that's a 5-voice polyphonic?
Yeah, it was five voices. Yeah.
Very cool. Looking forward to seeing that get into the market and get into the hands of musicians.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a cool piece.
Yep. All right, we've got circuits.
I run a company called Sleepy Circuits. I make gear that enables audio-visual performance. Today I'm showing off Hypno and Mez. Hypno, the hypnotizer, and then Mez, the mesmerizer. Hypno is an all-in-one video synth system that's kind of one-stop shop for your visuals. So you can use this box to add it to your audio system. And now you have a full visuals thing. So it can do generative visuals with kind of more generative shapes, or it can even sample video like we have in the example here. We have some birds running MP4 off of just a USB drive that you can pop just right into the back of one of these units. And you can either have visuals that you didn't prepare and just make them up on the fly, or you can have content that's been prepared or clips of your music videos and things like that. And then just quickly, this is called Mez. It's a MIDI controller that's made in combination with a video synthesis app. So the app is called VidOS, and it's a 3D video synthesizer system. And then Mez has contextual maps inside of there. So each of these is a page of controls, and then the side buttons change the MIDI channel. So this UI actually lets you access all 2048 CCs. So you can, of course, use this not just for visuals, but for music stuff as well. And I can show you kind of what's possible by recalling a few presets that I have on here. So it's wearable, and it also, what you're not going to be able to see is that it has haptic feedback. So once you reach the end of a control, it actually makes a little buzz to let you know that you're at the end of that control. So hopefully you can stay immersed in the visual more. That's kind of what I'm working on. And yeah, I forgot about Hypno to mention that it has CV inputs. It's got a full MIDI implementation, and the MIDI implementation, each of the MIDI notes becomes a preset slot. So you can add any kind of, key step or any, let's say, MIDI keyboard, and all of the white notes turn into presets. What you can do then is sequence those notes on an external sequencer and arrange your visuals alongside your music, and then once you have something that you like and is working together, you can just trigger that MIDI note to pull up a video and the visual that you intended for that music. So Hypno actually opens up the world of being able to very quickly and easily arrange audio visuals for your performance. So these are both available now. And then, on sleepycircuits.com, that's my website, so please check it out if you're into this sort of thing, and feel free to send me a message if you have any questions. We love helping customers get started with the world of video.
Hello, my name is Ram.
So
Those Sleepy Circuits, the Mez and the Hypno. Those, again, I'm really impressed with what Ron has developed and the amount of features he's put into each one separately between Hypno and the Mez. They both work really cool. We got to play around with them right there. And the Mez is designed to work with an iPad app for visuals. And that's, you can have it plugged in, or you can have it just via USB as a controller. It has an internal battery supply for X amount of time, which is really cool. As you can see, he has a little hook on it, so you can have it hooked onto your belt or the lapel of your jacket, stuff like that. So you can be a little bit more you can be you don't have to be right on top of your gear to control it. You can step away from it and
it's like
roasting.
Wearable, mobile. Yeah.
That was cool. And Hypno, again, he threw in a lot of cool features into that. As we didn't get into in the video, but on the panel there's, I believe, 4 different buttons there, and each one is a different page within the synthesizer, within the module there, so that you can go from different parameters to parameter, and it changes the functions of the knobs depending on which page you're on. There's a lot of versatility he's thrown into it. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you can also send in CV. And did he mention MIDI on that? I believe he did.
So
I couldn't remember. But the fact that you also have the versatility of sending CV in there to control it as well, always a good thing.
Yep.
And the other cool thing that you may have seen in the video here is he's got these cards. His business card for his company are designed after or inspired by Magic the Gathering cards. As I was having a conversation with him before we started rolling, that I said, "Hey, these kind of look like Pokemon cards." And he says, "Actually, I used to play Magic the Gathering." Oh, that's even better. That's more nerd. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
Hello, my name is Roman Filipov. I am the head of Black Corporation. We are the company based in Tokyo and LA, focused on making polyphonic analog synthesizers, a little bit of UREC models, and now we also do the analog effects. This is our newest product, which is not on market yet, and this is what just has been released. Basically, it's a UREC model based on our recent polyphonic synthesizer ISE-NIN, which is kind of based on the Jupiter 8, and this is called ISE-NIN voice. That means that it's one voice of ISE-NIN synthesizer in UREC format, and it's actually 2 models. So the main model is just one voice with only CV gate and output jacks. But if you want to really make it modular, you can buy the additional breakout or expander, whatever you call it, which has all the inputs and all the outputs in the world you can imagine, and then you can make it fully modular. And when we were making it, we were also very focused on making this model truly analog. So everything in this model, from oscillators, filters, envelopes, all the VCAs, even the quantizer for oscillator, it's all fully analog. And even keyboard tracking for envelopes is analog. It utilizes 12 VCAs just to bring this function in. And it's very dense model with parts, trimmers, everything, but the idea is to make it completely analog. So if you are into the modular or just starting the modular, I think it's a perfect model to start with, because you get the full voice of synthesizer. You have a lot of modular possibilities, and you can slowly add something else to play with it. But even without anything else, with this patch thing, you can modulate any parameter by any other parameter, and it can be a very fun toy to play with. They're shipping finally now. Yeah, we are very thankful for everybody who has been waiting on the pre-order list. Now we are able to finally ship them, and probably somebody already got them.
Yep. I almost have one.
Maybe by tomorrow is when you're expecting the delivery.
Tomorrow, yeah. Yep.
That's exciting.
Yeah. I also got to see it at Super Booth. They had one out there, but I didn't really play with it. Yeah, it's like one voice, you know, from like you said, Modular. Because they have their desktop version, which is polyphonic, but it's a little more money. So this is a kind of a good entry level one. He also mentioned, you know, it's an alternative to something like, you know, if you were going to get like maybe a Moog, like a Mother 32, like that semi-modular kind of style. This is another sort of alternative, right? Because you've got all those kind of parameters, and you've got that big breakout on the side to patch and do some experimenting with. And you know, he said you could really do a lot with just itself and that patch panel. So yeah, it's a cool one for sure.
I'm looking forward to seeing you post some tutorials on it.
Yeah, when I get it racked, I definitely want to record something, and I'll put it up on my channel. So I haven't really put anything on there. I think it's empty. So this,
yeah. Cool. And I believe that wraps it up. Was that our last one?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were. Yeah. So we, again, we did talk to a lot of people. Those were some of our standout, you know, featured stuff we saw. And then besides that, we have there's some peaked stuff happening this year for the new year. We're going to be kind of relaunching the website and some of the content, kind of a rebrand. So the intent is to have a little more focus on media, music, and video, versus the current site, which is more, you know, it's more little blog article focused. So it'll be easier to kind of get in there and just listen to some music or watch some videos, without having to click around, you know, too many pages and stuff like that. So that's that. And there's another big announcement that's happening that is upcoming, and more monologues.
We do have one in production, and we're going to be lining up a few more for 2025 as well. And, you know, we're still open for bookings. So if you are a musician, if you know us, reach out to us, please, and we can set up something in the near future of 2025.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whether it's, you know, a simple, you know, blog article, we could do something like that, interview, or North Beats podcast.
Yeah, engage on North Beats podcast.
Yep.
Just chat with me for a little bit, 45 minutes to an hour, and it's always a good conversation with everybody I have on there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to have whoever is watching, come on, hit me up. Let's have a chat.
Cool. So we're going to head out to III, the after party from Buchla Friends, and watch people play music. So
it's gonna be a good show.
Yep.
And I did get one little thing. Thing is, at Buchla Friends, one of the cool things about that show is all the vendors are selling modules there, which I don't think is a standard thing for most trade shows. It's more of like, these are our products. You can find us at these vendors. Here, the actual companies were selling their modules and wares. So there was one company, Null Modular, and Megan, she does 3D printed little figures that are basically brushes for your modular to keep them, they're dust buddies. So this is Piggins, and as you can see, it's a very nice soft brush to keep all of your modules dust free. These are dust buddies. I got the Raspberry Blast, which is a blue one. And all the brushes are red, but all the 3D printed characters come in a variety of pink, mint, black, gray, green, and they all have similar designs with little character things. They're pretty cool. I like them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the one thing I had to break. I had to get that. I need to dust my modules. Again, we'll see you guys real soon. Hopefully we'll get to do a few more of these later on in 2025. We're watching Patch Dispatch, and I'm Korey Luna with Rich Hogben.
So this
Night.
night.